Hello YouTube, it's Accurate again, back with another video from the home studio. So Native Instruments are not just replacing their old 90s style logo with this new kind of Terminator inspired one, but they're actually dropping new hardware as well. A couple of weeks ago we had this new DJ controller for Tractor coming out, and now we're getting new keyboards as well. This is the Kontrol S61 MK3, a part of the new S series. Alright, so this new Kontrol S series totally replaces what used to be called the Complete Control lineup of products. Native Instruments have improved on a few things about this one. It's a little bit shorter and a little bit wider, but definitely not by much. Overall, the layout of the unit is similar to the previous versions, so there's not a lot of stuff to relearn if you've ever had one of these ones before. This Kontrol S series of keyboards comes in 3 different sizes: 49 keys, 61 keys, like the one I have here, and also 88 keys. And the bigger 88 key version has a hammer action keyboard instead of this semi-weighted one on the S49 and S61. Keep in mind that Native Instruments just announced these ones, and even though I've had this unit in my studio for a little bit to test things out and whatnot, I'm still running beta versions of pretty much everything here just to keep things working. Which means that I'm not ready to say much about the actual performance of the unit at large because I don't have the full experience. That's just what it is. What I can say though is that the things that are working in here works really well, and it's nice and snappy. The workflow here is way faster than what it ever was on the MK2, and I never found the MK2 to be particularly slow either. This is just better and more modern, and it's just better. We're also getting full polyphonic aftertouch on the keyboard here, which is really useful for some stuff, like really large sample libraries or some complicated synthesizers. Not useful for everything, but still a really cool thing to have. We also have this large high-resolution display right here to show you all the settings and parameters for the complete control software, the browser, NKS-compatible instruments, Contact, or maybe the mixer in your DAW. The light guide above the keys here has also been updated and looks better than ever, and the knobs, the navigation encoder, and the pitch and mod wheel over here are made out of metal and feels really good to the touch. More connectivity is never a bad thing for a bigger MIDI keyboard like this that's pretty much supposed to be sitting in a studio. In this case, we're getting 4 pedal inputs on the back for foot pedals, 5-pin MIDI in and out for using this one with external gear, and also 2 USB-C connections. Using only the main USB-C connection here is pretty much good enough for most people. It's bus powered and it just works. But if you want to use this one together with something old and strange, with a weird USB protocol with not enough voltage, or something like that, that's where the secondary USB-C connection comes into play, to give this one a little bit more juice. Now let's dive into the really exciting stuff here, and that's how the Kontrol S61 MK3 actually works. Because we're now getting NKS2, Native Control Standard 2, which is the protocol that tells this one basically what to do with the software and vice versa. So let's load something up here that actually supports NKS2, like this one. So an instrument or a plugin with NKS2 compatibility gives you access to all the important and most commonly used parameters on the first page right here. And what that actually are and what the knobs corresponds to is of course different depending on the instance of the plugin. In this case, we're getting volume A, volume B, sound, cutoff, glide, play mode, and chord. And that's a great starting point right there. You can do some pretty major changes to your sound by just using the first knobs on the page. That's nice. But if you want to take things a little bit further and start editing your sound in detail, it's just a matter of going into Edit, and over here is some new changes. On this page in Editing, things will be named properly and sorted into different sections on the top of the display over here. Global, Filter, Effects, for instance. And this makes a lot of sense for more complex instruments with a lot of parameters. And the main point of this is, of course, that you shouldn't have to rely too much on the graphical interface of the plugin that you're working with on the computer. If the thing has MKS2 compatibility, everything should just live in here and be adjusted from the keyboard itself, without having to go through pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff. This is actually kind of handy. Another really handy thing here is that all the controls on the keyboard now also integrates with Contact, running outside of the Complete Control software, just as a single instance. I mean, Complete Control is great when it comes to browsing a wide variety of different sounds from different manufacturers with NKS compatibility, sure. But whenever I actually know what I'm looking for, maybe I want the Rickenbacker bass in Contact, I just prefer loading up an instance of Contact and finding the thing myself, over using Complete Control. So let's make a new instrument track over here, and let's not use Complete Control. Let's go straight to Contact 7. Things on the keyboard pretty much looks the same, but I'm only getting Native Instruments Contact stuff in here, which is exactly what I want. Let's go down to, I don't know, that one. And from that point, I can just move this one up to move one track up in my DAW, where I have Massive, and that just works. Obviously, I'm running Logic Pro X here on my computer, and everything works just fine. The integration is pretty much seamless. The transport controls over here works just fine, even though a part of me kind of wants to be able to skip steps or bars or beats or whatever on the timeline, but it is what it is. I could go in here and change my volume settings for my mixer. I could also change my settings for my plugin, of course, and go into the browser again to start stacking things up if I'm using the Complete Control software. Again, everything I actually have access to here works just like that. I've tested things inside of Logic, but that's pretty much everything. Will it always be this stable and seamless and just work? I don't know. It's not finished yet. I don't have the fully fledged product, but I sure hope so. Something like this makes a lot of sense for a lot of people that are working in any sort of DAW with music production. And all this new NKS2 functionality that we're just scratching the surface on seems really, really cool. As a MIDI controller for a home studio, I hope this will be a great option as like a master keyboard for a lot of people. But again, I don't have the finished version here, so it's a little bit too early to make a judgment, you know? By the way, I also don't know anything about how or if or when this will be integrated and work with Machine. You know, it's still really early days for this unit, and hopefully time will tell. Time will tell. And I guess that's it for this video. A first look at this new Kontrol S61 Mark III keyboard from Native Instruments. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, of course, that camera. Ha det gott!
Accurate beats.